Every year, train accidents claim countless lives worldwide, with India bearing a significant share of these tragedies. Hundreds are left dead or injured, and while the news captures the initial shock, the aftermath often fades from public memory. Few stop to wonder about the stories that unfold in the shadows of such calamities. This is the tale of one such accident, and the haunting events that followed. Suresh lived in a remote village, burdened by poverty and despair. Unemployed, he relied on his aging father's meager pension and his mother's dwindling inheritance to survive. Marriage seemed out of reach. No family wanted to tie their daughter's future to such an uncertain fate. One day, hope arrived in the form of an announcement. A railway postmaster position was open. Determined to turn his luck around, Suresh prepared rigorously for the exam. His family scraped together what little they had to support him, and their efforts paid off. Suresh passed with flying colors, filling his household with newfound joy. But when the appointment letter arrived, their celebration dimmed. Suresh was assigned to a small, isolated railway station in Minsapur, over 200 kilometers away. His parents begged him to wait for a better posting, but Suresh was resolute. "Good opportunities are rare," he said. "It's just a matter of a few years." The next morning, with his parents' reluctant blessings, Suresh set off for Minsapur. During the train journey, Suresh struck up conversations with fellow passengers. But when he mentioned his destination, their faces darkened, and their chatter fell silent. Confused, he asked, "Why the strange reaction?" They dismissed his questions, shifting the topic. Unease crept into Suresh's mind, but he brushed it aside, focusing on the road ahead. By mistake, he disembarked one station early. Undeterred, he approached a line of rickshaw drivers and asked to be taken to Minsapur. One after another, they refused, avoiding his gaze. Finally, an older driver agreed, but only to drop him at the village's edge. "You'll have to walk the rest of the way," the driver warned. As they traveled, Suresh asked about the villagers' peculiar behavior and the passengers' unease. The driver, visibly agitated, muttered, "It's a full moon tonight. No one wants to venture out." When pressed further, the driver snapped, "We've arrived. You'll understand soon enough." The village was eerily silent. Doors were bolted, lights glowed faintly from within, but no one emerged. Suresh knocked on several doors, seeking shelter, but was met with curt refusals. "Leave us alone," they shouted from behind locked doors. Finally, one voice suggested the temple as a safe haven. Grateful, Suresh made his way to the temple, only to find its doors firmly shut. Frustrated and exhausted, he decided to head to the station instead. The station was deserted. Suresh had informed the station master of his arrival, but no one greeted him. He sat on a bench, waiting. As time passed, a middle-aged man appeared and sat beside him. The man's face bore a worried expression. They struck up a conversation. The man claimed to be heading home but seemed lost. Suresh explained he was the new station master, waiting for his predecessor. The man nodded somberly, then fell silent. At 10:12 p.m., a passenger train approached. Suresh suggested the man board it, but the man's expression turned to anguish. "I can't go home," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. When the train halted, Suresh stepped aboard to check on the passengers, and froze in terror. Every face was streaked with tears. Every voice wailed the same plea, "Someone please take us home." Panicked, Suresh stumbled off the train. The man who had been sitting beside him was now among the passengers, moving toward him with outstretched hands. The crowd closed in, their cries growing louder. Suresh collapsed as darkness enveloped him. Suresh awoke to daylight and concerned villagers standing over him. The station master shooed them away and helped Suresh inside. Over breakfast, Suresh recounted his harrowing night. The station master listened gravely before revealing the truth. Years ago, on a full moon night, the 10:12 train derailed near Minsapur due to missing tracks stolen by thieves. Every passenger aboard perished, their bodies never recovered. Since then, on full moon nights, the ghostly train reappears, carrying the souls of the dead. Villagers avoid the station, knowing the passengers knock on doors, pleading for help. Those who answer are never seen again. The station master's final words chilled Suresh to the bone. Never board that train. Those who do become part of it forever.